Help support our coverage using Blueberry, the community that gives creators the ability to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get 30 days to try out the service using promo code BLUBRRY004.
Hello, I'm Don Baine. Daniel, how are you?
Good.
Can you bring your microphone just a little closer? There you go.
Okay.
Okay, so you're from WePower?
WePower Technologies, yes.
Tell me all, I have no idea. What does WePower do?
They do kinetic energy harvesting. So we harvest the energy from everyday motions, such as pushing a button, flipping a switch, and use that to power IoT devices without batteries or wires.
So it has to have some kind of transmission to send the signal and for something to receive the signal and know what to do.
It's usually connected to some kind of like smart home system, such as Z-Wave.
Okay, so essentially it doesn't need its own router or its own booster, right? It will connect to Wi-Fi, I would assume.
Wi-Fi is one of the protocols. It could be Wi-Fi, like Z-Wave, Zigbee Green, or any of those.
How long has the company been in business?
About 5 years we've been in business, and we've really just perfected the technology within the last year, so it's ready
that's exciting.
ready to go. Yeah.
So tell me, when it's in use right now, I'm assuming. People use your product right now?
Not yet.
Okay, so
we've
we're in
got
the embryonic
several
stages.
Yeah, we've got several products in our booth that are prototype products to show the technology in its full working form. And we're partnering with several companies that are adapting it into their product lines for 2025.
Give me a typical application that you would see this used for.
One that we have in our booth this year that is probably going to be the first one to market is a batteryless wireless leak detector.
A battery wireless leak detector.
Right.
Boy, I could have used one of those a couple years ago.
Right. As most of them are either hardwired, which means it needs to be very close to your wiring with a mat on the floor, or they're battery powered, and the battery dies after you set it. You forget all about it, and then you get a flood and nobody knows. So these have.
I unfortunately am quite quite
you
familiar.
unfortunately are a victim of this.
I've had it happen 2 times in 2 different houses. It was bad.
I bet.
It was bad. The house was destroyed.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. And then, of course, after it was all done, I had them put in. I had used these leak detectors. Moa made them. And they actually hooked onto the pipe.
Okay.
And it had a little box, and it detected any kind of abnormalities. And it would give you 3 choices. It would shut the water off, which is good. It would call me, or it would call a plumber. So how would I integrate? Yours has to be a device that somehow connects to the piping to detect the leak?
It connects to either your wireless, your Z-Wave smart home.
How does it know I have a leak?
Because there is a detector on the bottom. So the way that one works is we preload the kinetic energy into the device, and it's held in place by a liquid soluble strip. And that when that dissolves, it triggers to release the energy, and that sends the signal that there's a leak.
So your device is actually point of contact. So I would put not one. I would probably have to have many everywhere there's water.
You could put one anywhere.
The water, but if I didn't have it on the water heater, and it leaked, and if I didn't have one there, I wouldn't know. Opposed to if I had that sensor on a bathroom sink or a washing machine or whatever. So your system is, I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, calling for multiple sensors.
You can have multiple ones, yes, and it's probably advisable to do so, to put it anywhere you could get a leak, and it will tell you which one detects the leak. So it would say, in your case, leak by water tank or leak in downstairs bathroom.
Mine was nasty. Mine was the heating pipe system on the top floor. It was horrific. I have nightmares about it still. Anyway, I have to tell you, this type of technology is, to me, mandatory. If you own a home or a rental agency or whatever. So how much does this typically cost? Is this primarily for homeowners? Is that who your audience
So we create the technology, and then it's licensed by other companies.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to them to set the pricing when they put it into their product. So it could go through any type, like an alarms.com type company, or anyone that does. It could be a plumbing company if they're.
Now, is there a main switchboard per se for this?
It just goes through your regular hub for the smart.
So on my app, I'm assuming there's an app, it would tell me, hey,
you've got a leak in downstairs bathroom, or you've got a leak on wherever you've put your sensor under the kitchen sink.
all right, so I would assume I would want multiple sensors. So we really can't put a price point on this because you're the inventor and manufacturer of the technology.
The technology, correct.
Okay, where else do you see applications for
So
this?
we're also, in our booth, we've got a door and window sensor that we're demonstrating. So that one is really interesting because
So
it's got
it's
dual
security.
polarity. So it'll tell you if not only that the door has opened or closed, but whether it's open and closed, and it can track
that's good.
timing, and you can track whatever data points you want, and it'll send that signal.
And these are wireless sensors, so I just put them
Yep.
on and I don't have to run wires. Well, that's
No
kinda
batteries.
neat. Well, if it's open and closed, so it knows it's open, it knows it's closed, and
Correct.
it knows if it's open, it will say, hey, it's open.
Right.
Now, couldn't you again put those on doors?
Yes, we have one on a door in our booth right now that we're demonstrating.
I'll tell you a weird thing. It's funny that you mentioned that. I have an elaborate alarm system at my home, and there's only one door in the whole house that doesn't have sensors on it, but it does have motion detectors in the room, so I'm not worried about it. So we just came out here to CES, and the yard company who does the yard work, they called us and said, you know, your door's open. I said, there's no way it's open. I mean, there's no way. And then I remember New Year's Eve, we had a party and we used the dining room, which I never use, and the kids opened up the door and they didn't close it all the way. I didn't know. And the motion detector is, I don't know, maybe 8 feet. So that span of that motion detector didn't realize, and it was open about that much because I looked on the camera and, oh my God. So she, of course, closed the door, but my alarm did not go off.
This wouldn't have told you if it was open or
If
closed.
I had your system, I would have known, right?
Right.
Wow. Now, does that beep you, or does it
It
email?
does. It's this. It connects through the same protocol, so you'd get the the update.
I like that.
And you can have it set to whether, if it's a leak, this is an emergency, right? You'd want to be notified
Sure.
right away. But if it's door opening and closing, you may want that to just be a log that you check throughout the day.
Yeah, I want to know
Right.
my door's open.
Right. But if it's a high traffic door, maybe you just want to know what times they were open
never
or closed.
used that
right?
door. I think I might have opened that door 3 times in 20 years. This is the strangest thing, and I'm looking at it on the camera going, what? It's open. You know, and in Arizona, you got all kinds of little critters that kind of,
There's scorpions walking around your house.
rattlesnakes, the whole bit. So that's kind of cool. Now, if I had your system, can I deploy X amount of sensors, door, windows, and also sensors that would detect leaks so I can have a variety of choices?
Right. I mean, it can go in any type of product that has a motion. So those are just some examples that we're demonstrating. It could
I
be
like that a
the
lot.
the windows. It could be entry, like in a gate, like entry access control,
But
light
you have
control.
to be within reach of the internet, of a wireless connection.
It depends what protocol you're using.
Okay.
Like Z-Wave, long range is
Right.
about 1.5 miles, so that could be
Yeah.
a gate. That's at the beginning
that makes
of
total
a
sense. I
property.
like this. So what other kind of sensors do you have?
Those are just some of the ones that we've mocked up for our booth.
Right.
But it could be used in anything that has a motion, whether it's opening, like the motion of a door handle, pushing a button. It could be like tied to your doorbell, per instance, where
okay.
if you ring you
Yeah.
push it, then that makes the noise, and it's no battery, no wires. That's a possible explanation. Or it could trigger a camera to take a picture of who's pushing
really?
the button. It's
Now,
however you want to
How does
hook
that
it up.
integrate? All through the app?
Well, we don't have the app, so it's the technology that takes
I got it. I got you.
It takes the signal and is
That's
pushed
kind of
into
neat. So
the
there's an opportunity for, quote, a software app development company to take
Right.
this incredible technology and actually fine-tune it. Hey, Mr. Jones, if you have, this kind of camera or that kind of camera, you click the
Right.
button, you put this in, and
We
That's
have a
nice.
demonstration app
That's
that we're
nice.
using in our booth, and our engineers work with the companies to figure out how to best integrate it into their products. But we just have some reference designs on ways to show it.
when do you think I'll see this, for real?
You can see it for real today in our booth
When,
in the North
when
Hall.
are we going to be able to buy the
and buy
technology?
it this
Yeah.
year.
This year? Are there companies that you can tell me about that actually?
Not yet.
I could just see by the smile she knows.
We're working with several big companies too.
You're at CES. My listeners want to know. Nothing.
Well, as soon as we have any, we'll announce them. As soon as they're ready for market, we'll announce them.
Okay. Well, that's pretty exciting. Yes. Where's your booth?
It's in the North Hall, 8446.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to scramble over there and check it out.
Yeah, we're demonstrating the water sensor, the door sensor. We've got an industrial push button and a light controller, all live and working in our booth.
That's awesome. See, this is what I like about CES. You get to just see and hear about the new technologies. And this particular one, I got to tell you, folks, you do not want a flood in your house. Elite, you do not. Technology like this is going to help you. Trust me.
And because there's no batteries, it lasts forever.
That's huge.
It's powered by magnet energy, so magnets hold their power indefinitely.
So you're converting magnetic energy into kinetic electricity,
and
if you will.
It's green because you don't have the battery waste. And it's like if you ever have put two batteries at reverse polarity, you can feel the tension, right?
Yeah. Well, that's energy.
That's the energy.
Yeah. I'm curious, you might know, how much voltage or current can that produce?
So small. It's 3 millijoules.
What?
And it's enough to wake up the processor, to send the signal, to create the
3 millijoules?
Yeah.
I would never think that's enough juice.
It's enough. And
wow. Now I'm assuming the bigger the magnet.
Sure, it's scalable. So I mean,
juice.
If you want it in a remote control, it's going to be much smaller than if you wanted to.
How big is the sensor that would be in this device? I mean, the size of a nickel, quarter,
It's about the size of a quarter.
Really? And it's constant energy?
It's not constant. It's when you do the motion, it captures the energy immediately and uses it then. And
I see.
so that's why it's not running. Like batteries are constantly always running and draining. And right. So it's on call. So whenever you do the action, or in the case of the water sensor, we preload and hold it.
Boy, that technology has a lot of room to grow. I can just think of the things, that's great.
The possibilities are pretty indefinite.
I guess so. Wow. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I enjoyed talking to you, and I learned a lot. I'm going to try to get down there and check out that booth and make sure it works.
Come on down to the North Hall.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. All right, well, I wish you the best of luck at CES, and hopefully I'll see you between now and Friday when they throw us out of here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much. Interesting technology, no question about that.
The Tech Podcast Network's CES 2025 coverage is executive produced by Adam Barker. Technical director is Kirk Corliss. Associate producers are Nancy Ertz, Tracy Ingram, Xerxes Goddard, Brandy Jackson, and Aviva Cram. Voiceover by Aaron Hurst. Our hosts are Marlo Anderson, Don Baine, and Scott Ertz. Studio and equipment are provided by PLUGHITZ Productions. The TPN studio executive is Todd Cochran. This has been a Tech Podcast Network production, copyright 2025.